Hey everybody, my name's Scott. I'm learning how to work on old cars, and for some reason, I decided it'd be a great idea to start with this disaster of a 1963 Chevy Corvair. I've bitten off way more than I can chew, but it's too late to stop now. Right now we gotta take apart the rear suspension, and man, does it not want to come apart. It's rusty, rusted together. It's like over the years, all the parts have become as one. We're gonna have to bend it to our will, probably literally. We got work to do. Let's get started. Welcome to Lost Wrench Garage. Well, my friend Glenn recommended this stuff, Superzilla, the Green Wonder product. It says it frees rusted nuts and bolts. Let's see. While I'm waiting for a helper to get this yoke off on this side, I'll start working on this side. Now we can find out if I have a limited slip differential. So the way to tell if you have a limited slip differential is that in a positive traction, one axle, when you turn it, the other axle turns in the same direction. In a standard differential, non-limited slip, non-positive traction, the other axle will turn in the opposite direction. So will these turn in the same direction? Is it a positive traction? They turn opposite. So this is a standard differential. We're gonna get it, right? Yeah, let me heat it first. Okay. All right. Strike while iron's hot. This one. Okay, ready?
Yep.
Broke.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That works though.
It does work.
Can you see it there?
Yeah. Okay, that's probably good. Are we able to get it back out again?
It'll go. It'll go.
It'll go.
Okay, you want me to? You have to hold this.
Yeah.
I don't want to spin on you.
Yeah.
Is she moving?
No. I'm gonna heat this.
The breaker bar now?
Maybe. I mean, I can turn it. I just
If you can turn it, it's going.
must be going, right?
Yeah.
Is that even moving? If it's not moving, then what are we doing? Stretching these bolts?
No. I think it'd be moving.
We could pound on it a little bit, maybe.
Still moving.
Is it moving?
Well, your wrench is.
Wrench is moving.
Yeah,
but
that's hard. That's steel.
yeah.
That's gonna be the one that gives there. That.
Think these will break?
No, I don't think so. Times 4.
It's stretching.
You want to hit on this side?
Yeah,
right
hit
here?
that side.
Yep.
Is the head of this bolt gonna break?
The big one? No.
Okay. I don't think that thing's budged a millimeter. I don't know how. Are we just digging a...
Let's get it red. Let's get it red hot.
All right. Okay.
Pretty red.
Yeah, you want to think it's good?
Right. Now we'll just start
Alright.
top.
We're turning it. Man. I wonder if we're just squashing the metal in there.
Oh, it could be until
You know
it gets
what I
a
mean?
good grip on it. But that's
Yeah.
should be pretty stout.
Continue applying more pressure and hitting side of yoke. We've been doing this. If you have a torch, apply heat. In extreme cases, the addition of heat may be the only way to remove it. Well, we haven't moved this yoke at all, but we have managed to bend that bolt. So we're gonna have to figure something else out.
Bingo.
Okay. You know, this time, I feel like we have to pay attention to whether that thing's twisting or not, you know?
Yeah. I think it's moving.
Is it moving?
I think so.
I feel like it's going.
Yeah, it is.
Hang on, stop for a second. I gotta change my camera angle. Oh, it's moving.
Oh yeah. Probably. There you go.
All right.
I still want to touch it. So
Yeah, I
hard.
know. Okay, this thing's ready to go.
1, 2, 3.
Here we go. Nice. All right, let's take a look at it. So, one thing about this is it's kind of coming apart, I think.
Yeah.
And I think these rear wheel bearings are hard to find
I
replacements
think
for.
you're going to have to. I mean, it's working.
Yeah,
It won't be a problem.
yeah.
It's not like you're going to drive it every day, but
No.
That seal looks bad.
Right, see, that's
Whatever.
loose there.
So
Yeah.
imagine there's a shop. The shop will take that off, cut that off, put a whole new, but you need a new one.
Yeah.
This looks good.
Yeah. The splines look good on
Yeah.
there. I don't think it's a problem.
And the bolt's good.
We could reuse it.
Oh yeah.
Well, actually, it's turning the whole, it's not turning the, it's turning the whole thing. I have an idea.
Maybe
Just cut this hose. What about this one?
Yeah.
See how it's swollen shut? So you
Gotcha.
just unscrewed that. That just screws in there before you put this on. Yeah.
Yeah. Here it comes. That makes it tight.
Yeah, because otherwise it's just gonna pop off there. It is grabbing. I can keep working on it. Yeah, she's stubborn. Bending that again. That thing is on there. Well, I went to take that off of there and it broke. So this yoke I don't think is coming off of there. I'm going to continue to remove the rest of the suspension and figure this out later. I'm gonna remove the springs and shocks. To do that, my plan is to take these two nuts off the shocks here. I'll actually just get them started the way it is now. And this one up top, get them moving. And then once I've got those loosened, I'll take my transmission jack and I'll lower the control arm onto the transmission jack, compress the spring a little bit, remove the shock nuts the rest of the way, take the shocks out, and then I can actually raise the lift and take the car off of the transmission jack. That'll lower the control arm, and in theory, according to what I've read, the spring will come out at that point. Let's give it a try. Those are going. Okay, I'm gonna leave that on there. So to get the shocks and springs out, we need this control arm to go down freely when the shock comes loose. So the service manual says to loosen these control arm shaft bolts on either side of the shaft.
Nope.
Well, it just said loosen them. I hope that's loose enough. All right, putting it down on that tall transmission jack is making me nervous. So I'm gonna do this all lower to the floor with a floor jack. I think that seems safer. Nope. So the entire weight of the car at this point is supported here. It's lifted up off of the lift at the frame rail. So when I take that shock off, is there going to be a big movement of that spring, which could potentially cause instability of the car on the lift? I hope not. Okay, it's just turning the shock. I need to get another tool on the top of this bolt so the nut turns on it. I cleaned up this nut about as good as I can up here, but I'm just tearing up the material trying to hold it up at the top. So I think it's time to just cut that off. Not using it anyway. There we go. That thing popped. Okay. Let's drop that shock out. Now what I'm going to do is lower this jack, and this lower control arm should drop low enough that this spring can come out. Here we go. we go. That's all it took. The spring now lodged itself. There we go. There we go. This thing's in pieces. I've decided to remove the lower control arms first to reduce the weight of the remaining part of the suspension, which is the upper control arm. And it's held in just by 4 nuts on studs here. So I'm going to pull those off and remove the lower control arm. This is the left side. I'll do it on the right side as well. I'll work on the other ones. Stud's broken. Angle grinder again. It's gonna take a Dremel. A nut splitter, right? It's timing again on the last nut. I tend to get a lot of good information from comments on my videos, and one person once commented about the utility of something called a nut splitter. So I bought one. Here it is. It's my first look at it. A bunch of different sizes. I think this could come in handy about right now. Let's see if it works. Some broke loose. Definitely made a big dent in there. Maybe I'll do the other side. Oh, something broke again. There it goes. Look at that. And that nut is no more. Threads don't even look damaged. That thing is just rusted on there. That looks like it is just rusted on there. Like fused. It's breaking, I think. No, it's moving. I think it's moving. I got this bolt moving down here earlier. So I'm going to try to take that out and look at the bolt, because what I'm curious about is if it is threaded on the inside here. That'll tell me whether I need to work it out by unscrewing it or just pounding it out. You know what, that's just freely turning. Oh yeah, that's gonna come right up out of there. Okay, so now we see what this bolt looks like. I think we just need to pound them up out of there. On the theory that those bolts are not coming out because they're being torqued in their cross brace by the weight of the lower control arm just hanging there, I'm going to support the lower control arm on a transmission jack, see if that helps the bolts work loose. There she goes. Now see, we can rotate the whole piece on this bolt and get it loose. Hope I don't bend this cross member. As I feared, I have burned out my Dremel again. Okay, I'm going to try grinding off the bottom of this bolt. this driver's side lower control arm, which is hanging by a single cut-off bolt and just refuses to come off, is just gonna have to stay. And I'm gonna work on the other lower control arm, remove it, and then I'll take the upper control arm off the frame and I'll have to work on that on the bench. It's always one. Same thing with the other one, just one stubborn bolt. Maybe if I take these bolts out, I can really sort of torque on that other one, maybe break it. That would be just fine. There we go, it's out. Of course, it's the one that I can't get to the cutoff. You know, it's the one bolt that there's no access to. Oh, maybe the whole upper control arm needs to come off with both lower control arms still intact. That's fine. You gotta know when you're beat. Moving on. So this is the passenger side outboard portion of the suspension. This is the upper control arm, the part that's fixed and attached to the frame. It's the lower control arm, which pivots on the cross member and has the spring and shock between the lower and the upper control arm. And the upper control arm that I'm going to try to remove now is attached on both sides at 2 points, here and here. So I'm going to work on, I'll probably take this out completely and get this loosened up on both sides. And then I will figure out a way to probably fix the upper control arm to the car so that when I pull these bolts out, it doesn't just fall on my head. Seems wise. Now let's loosen this thing up next. I think it broke. No, maybe not. I think it's turning. All right, we'll get that loose. Let's go to the other side. In order to get this cross member off of here without having it crash down, I need to support it. I put some straps on there, but I want to get a transmission jack under there, but this bracket's in the way, so let's get rid of that. It's pinned in there. I'm practically lifting the car with that. There we go. Now this one. All right, what else needs to come out from under here? I see a bunch of lines, cables, and wires. Gotta get rid of those. And a heater box with its little motor. Let's get those out of here. We're just gonna take this old bracket off. So the purple and the yellow are both labeled 5, but they've got to be separated. So we're going to remember that, right? Okay. So much for this part of the wiring harness. Okay. Now, it is only attached right here. How do I get that off? Let's figure it out. Let's try pulling on it. That worked. For this heater box, I think I see 4 attachment points. Here and here, and also up here and up in there. Hopefully that's it. This thing will come out of there. We'll have to dislodge it from this little inlet thing there. There she goes. She still seems to be in there pretty good. Still got to get this thing pushed in there. Man, that'll do something. Ugh, it's raining dust. Boy, let's see. Take this whole bracket off is what I got to do. Yep. Now that I think about it, it did say to remove the whole bracket. It does give it more room. How about that? Oh, jeez. Well, that was easy. What's next? You guessed it, the front suspension. It looks a lot more complicated than the rear suspension, so if you want to see me mess that up too, here's what you do. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you know when that video comes out, and most importantly, keep well and keep learning. That's what I'm going to do. I'll see you next time.